You know why we got more house Negroes than any other group? We got more house Negroes than any other group. And not only do we have more house Negroes than any other group, we have the most well-educated and well-placed house Negroes. Normally, the traders are the vagabonds of other communities. They're the people at the bottom, not in Black America. Our traders are the people at the top. But you have Negroes trying to reduce Black America's problems to reparations. If you don't spend your money wisely now, what makes you think you're going to spend the We don't spend our tax return wise. We didn't spend the PPP loans wisely. We don't spend our annual income wisely, but we're going to spend reparations wisely.
But I do want to know from you, is there any hope?
Yes, there is.
All right.
There's a lot of hope.
Right.
Here's the problem.
What's up?
The words that we need to describe the things Black people are going to have to do in order for us to resurrect ourselves are not popular words in the Black community because we haven't used them for more than a half of a century.
All right.
Words like sacrifice.
Yeah.
Words like organization. Words like financial responsibility.
Absolutely.
Black people don't like to hear them kind of words. See, the reason we don't have a lot of institutions, my brother, because institutions require sacrifice.
Yep.
Financial responsibility.
Yep.
A lot of work. Black people, look at me with the FDMG Academy, my brother, 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years, 5 years to find the school, 5 years to renovate the school. It takes work. Yeah. And the only reason why I'm still at it is because I'm committed. Our boys need this school. Institutions are not easy, especially when you're not taking on non-Black money, as I'm doing, you see.
Yes.
So Black people don't want no part of that. Build an institution. It's going to take a couple of years. And I'm not getting nothing out of this in the meantime, except to know that I'm helping my people. Understand something, my brother. We're living at a time where the young adults of today, they are the grandchildren of the 80s and the 90s.
Right.
You see, the crack era.
Right.
Not that their grandparents was on crack, but the crack era destroyed the community unity that we had.
Yes, it did.
Crack. We talk about the chemical devastation and the incarceration devastation, but what about the psychological devastation of crack? Once people started selling dope, once people started sniffing dope, you no longer could know who you could trust. It became every family for themselves, every man for themselves, every woman for themselves. We became individuals. And we haven't gotten over the individualism that the crack epidemic created in Black America. The solution is the community, my brother. That's the solution. But how many Black people are honestly ready to say, I'm willing to do whatever. I'm willing to give up 25% of my disposable income to save Black America. There's not many of us willing to do that. Most of us are psychologically defeated, my brother.
Yeah.
Most Blacks in America are psychologically defeated. We don't believe it's possible to overcome white supremacy. We have no hope in ourselves to overcome, which is interesting because we all claim to be religious and spiritual.
Right.
Well, if you claim to be religious and spiritual, how can you have no hope in God's first people, which in my opinion are God's chosen people, the Black man and woman? If you don't have no faith in yourself, if you have no faith in us, you have no faith in God either.
Good point.
We can fix this problem, my brother. We can fix it. But as the late, great Grandmaster teacher, Pan-Africanist and scholar warrior, Dr. John Henry Clark said, he said, we're going to need a sacrificial generation. He said, we're going to need a 20-year period where every American African does what is necessary in order to free ourselves politically and economically. I'm going to be honest with you, my brother. And you know this because you work with our people as much as I do. A lot of us really don't care.
Yeah,
we really don't care.
Right.
Black people believe they can make it without the group.
Yeah.
That is the curse. We're the only people who believe I can make it without the group. You see that? So I'm going to gamble. Yeah, they killed Trayvon. The police killed Breonna. They killed Sandra Bland. They killed Tamir Rice. They killed Eric Garner. They killed Philando Castile. They killed Amir Pope. But I'm going to gamble that none of my kids get hit by white supremacy. You see that?
Yeah, we do that.
This black family is homeless. This black family is homeless. This black family is homeless. But I'm going to gamble that my family won't be. That black man got laid off right before he hit retirement. She got laid off right before she hit retirement. But I'm a gamble that it don't happen to me. Black people are playing the lottery. They're playing the political lottery of America, and they are gambling that out of all the 50 million Africans in America, I will be the one that escapes the trap of racism. And guess what? That's all fine and well until it isn't.
Right. Yeah.
And the minute racism traps your ass up, now you want to become Mr. Black. Now you want to become Mr. Activist. You see that?
Yeah.
I mean, think about the celebrities you know, without calling no names. Think about the celebrities and athletes you know who didn't give a damn about what was happening in Black America until they fell from grace. And when they fell from grace, all of a sudden they became politically conscious.
Oh yeah, they run back to the community.
They knew what it was like to be Black, but we didn't hear none of that when you was getting it.
Right.
And that's the problem with us. We are easily swayed away from loyalty to the community.
Yeah.
Everybody knows if Black people make enough money, they will turn their back on their people with no hesitation.
Sad.
Most people know that. Yeah. The white man says every Negro has a price. We are easily swayed. You know why we got more house Negroes than any other group? We got more house Negroes than any other group. And not only do we have more house Negroes than any other group, we have the most well-educated and well-placed house Negroes. Normally, the traitors are the vagabonds of other communities. They're the people at the bottom. Not in Black America. Our traders are people at the top.
At the top,
and you know why we got more traders than other groups? Because we have more hopelessness than other groups. We have more self-hate than other groups. We have a lower estimation of our collective ability to solve our problem than any other group. And whenever people are hopeless, whenever people are psychologically defeated, whenever people don't have any faith in each other, they can easily be manipulated into selling out their own people.
Yeah.
The average Black child is a sellout waiting to happen. They were raised by Black parents on materialism, worship of white people, and they've been told their whole life to go to college, get a good job, and get away from Black people. That is the message from 90% of Black parents to their children.
Wow. Amazing. Very powerful, very humbling. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you are listening closely to the words coming from Dr. Umar Johnson tonight. We as a people, my brother, we do have a lot to work on. We have a lot to be desired. And I do agree with you. The only answer for us is us.
Nobody's coming to help you. And let me say this to that point, my brother, because I'm glad you brought that up. You know, there's a lot of talk and conversation about reparations.
Yes.
And I believe in reparations. I support reparations. It was we, the Pan-Africanists, who gave birth to the reparations movement. This isn't something that popped up on YouTube over the past 3 years. This thing goes all the way back to the 1700s and even before that.
Yes, it does.
My problem with reparations, like every other problem we have in Black America, we're using it as a scapegoat, not to take responsibility for where we are and what we have.
Okay.
I haven't heard anybody yet talk about, until we get reparations, what are we going to do about the $2 trillion we waste every year in this country? While we're waiting on reparations, what are we going to do about all the money Black women spend on hair care? What are we going to do about all the money Black men spend on clothing and sneakers and jewelry? So you mean to tell me we're walking around like reparations is going to solve Black America's problem without a transformation in consciousness? Do we not understand that internal reparations precedes external reparations? Do you realize Half the problems we have, core problems, money cannot solve them.
Absolutely.
Money will not solve the black male-female relationship crisis. Money will not solve the snow bunny crisis. Money will not solve the self-hatred. Money will not solve the mistrust. Money will not help us value the black woman any more than we do. Half the problems we got are psychological and must be solved in the community and in the mind, and they do not come with a dollar amount. But you have Negroes trying to reduce Black America's problems to reparations. If you don't spend your money wisely now, what makes you think you're going to spend the We don't spend our tax return wise. We didn't spend the PPP loans wisely. We don't spend our annual income wisely, but we're going to spend reparations wisely. To me, that is dishonest thinking right there. And a lot of black people are engaging in this reparations will solve our problems narrative. I completely disagree with it. I stand for reparations because we are entitled to it for what our ancestors went through. It's spiritual.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm telling you, good brother, if we don't learn how to leverage the revenue we already got, if we can't leverage 2 trillion, if you can't handle what you already got responsibly, what makes you think you're going to do anything better with the reparations? If we don't fix the problems, we have